You're on.
Good evening. My name is Ed Ruth, and I'm the chairman for this evening's meeting. I'd like to welcome you to the November 25th, 2024 Board of Adjustment meeting. I ask you all to stand for a flag salute and pledge allegiance. One nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. A moment of silence. Amen. This meeting is in compliance with the Open Public Meetings Act. Adequate notice has been given by mailing the annual schedule of meetings to the Union County Local Source and Star Ledger, by posting such information on the schedule of the bulletin board in the town hall reserved for such announcements, and the filing of said notice with the Township Clerk. Formal action may be taken at this meeting. Madam Secretary, roll call.
Mark Hayden.
Here.
Dante Tecnini.
Here.
Thomas Mead.
Here.
Douglas Crock.
Here.
Chris Tierney.
Here.
William Helm.
Here.
And Ed Ruth.
Here. Item on the agenda is to review the minutes of the September 30th, 2024 meeting.
No correspondence.
Motion to approve.
I second.
All in favor?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Any
Motion-
opposed?
Motion carries.
No.
Motion carried. Any correspondence, Kelly? For the-
No new correspondence.
No correspondence? Okay, thank you. All right, tonight we'll be hearing calendar case 4-24. Richard Comer.
Never appeared here before. I don't know where you want me. If you want me here, you want me here?
Here is fine.
Okay.
Sure. Just preliminarily, you did supply the board with the notice to the neighbors and for the newspaper, and that is in order, for the record. Do you have witnesses that need to be sworn in?
I have, just for the record, William Sanchez on behalf of Richard J. Cormier, the owner of 99 Charlotte Drive in Clark, New Jersey, who is here before the board for approval of plans to build a one-family home. Mr. Cormier is present, and so is the architect. And I apologize for myself, because this is not my area of practice, and I have basically been brought into this because Richard is a good friend of mine for many, many, many years, and he decided that I should send out the notices to all the neighbors and take care of the publication. So if I stumble a little bit, I apologize.
Let's get, if they're both going to testify, let's get them both sworn in. If you both come up, I'm going to raise your right hand. Do you swear affirm the testimony you're about to give in this matter is the truth and the whole truth and nothing but the truth? And state and spell your name for the record.
My name is Rui, R-U-I, and last name A-N-A-R-A-L.
And you are the architect? Okay, and your name, for the record, just speak into the microphone.
Yeah, my name is Richard Cormier, C-O-R-M-I-E-R, and I'm the owner.
Terrific. All set. Yep,
Adjourning.
he doesn't need to be sworn in. Just before your architect testifies, have him put his credentials on the record, just your education and that you're licensed and your license is current.
And we've already looked at the proofs. And everything is in order?
Everything's in order.
Fine, thank you.
So just briefly, if you just explain to the board why you're here and what relief you're seeking.
We're here because the applicant is seeking a variance because in order to build a master bedroom on the first floor as opposed to the second floor, the footprint will be approximately 300 square feet larger than what is allowed. So 15% is the maximum allowed coverage, and we're here requesting 17.2%.
Probably have your architect,
Go right to the architect? Sure. State your name.
Rui Amaral.
Okay, and would you give the board the benefit of your training and experience?
I'm a registered architect in state of New Jersey since 1995. I got my degree from NJIT, and I've been practicing ever since. I've never been in front of this board, but I've been in local cities like Linden, Woodbridge, Rahway, Elizabeth, every city around.
does the board have any questions about the credentials of the architect? Is it acceptable?
Acceptable.
Okay, go ahead.
Any objection?
No.
You can let the architect.
Okay.
Is your microphone on?
Let me pull up the drawings.
You can let the architect kind of go through his,
Okay.
Yeah.
we're not very formal as far as having to be a full question and answer. So,
This mouse is a little funny. Okay, my client purchased this property, come on, a little while ago, with the intention of building a single-family house. Now, this lot was subdivided previously. I think lot 101 and 102 used to be one lot, and this was subdivided. Now, the subdivision was, I think they came in front of this board for a variance because of lot size. So the required for the zone is 15,000 square feet. And the property currently, or as it was subdivided, was 14,599 square feet. Originally, I thought this was I needed a variance for that, for another size lot. But when they did the subdivision, they pre-approved a building to be built on this property. So
This approval was given at the planning board,
yes.
not the zoning board.
So this was an approved undersized lot. So my client, as we started to design the house, I'll go through the floor plans, but his main thing was that he wanted the master bedroom on the ground floor, rather than say like above the garage or where we could use additional, or we basically could maintain the square footage of the footprint to the lot size, or the maximum allowed, which is 15%. That would be 2,190 square feet. So the only variance that we would need in this case, or in our proposal, is this 17.2%, which gives us a 2,500 square foot house of footprint on the lot. All the other requirements for front yards, side yards, everything else we meet, including maximum impervious coverage, which is 50%. Impervious being building and paving, so we're at 30%. So we are, overall, in other words, the house is not an oversized development on this lot. It's only that the building, because it's 15% is so low, that we result in the square footage shortage. The building itself is 2,000 building square footage, living space. It's 2,085 square feet on the ground floor. Second floor, 1,690, gives us a total of 3,775. But the garage is a two-car garage, gives us 420 square foot garage. So I'll go through the floor plans quickly, or I can even show you this. Gee, all right, I got it. So our proposal is basically in this, this here. The building is 49 feet 6 inches wide, and a total of 63 feet 6 inches, including the garage. It's set back 42 feet from the street on one side, and 40 feet 7 inches on the right side. So we basically have designed the house within the square footage of the setbacks. We have a rear patio, two-car garage, as I mentioned, and the front porch.
Mr. Hummel, for the record, the plans that you're showing us, is this what was submitted, an electronic copy of what was submitted to the board already? Okay, so if you submit, and if you show us anything that you have not previously submitted, let us know so we can mark it.
These were the drawings that were submitted,
Okay.
including, I believe, 18 copies. All right. So this is the house on the ground floor. So we have a two-car garage on the left side, a front porch, an entrance, and the master bedroom to your right. The master bedroom is 16 by 16 and a half, 16 feet 7 inches. Has a walk-in closet, master bedroom, shower, toilet room, and tub. It's not like an oversized master bedroom. It's just a 16 by 16 and a half. And then in the rear, we have a family room, dining room, kitchen, all wide open. As a staircase to the second floor. And then on the second floor, we have 3 bedrooms, an unfinished attic space over the garage. So in this area, this would be like typically we would do the master bedroom over the attic, over the garage. But in this case, we're placing it on the ground floor. This drawing showing basically what the house would look like from the front, left side. There's a rear floor.
Going to your plot plan, noticing it's the first exhibit, there is an easement on the left side of the garage, and it indicates that there are going to be pavers over that.
No, we're not touching much over the pavement, over the easement.
I'm not sure exactly the regulation as far as putting any kind of sidewalk, because if there was a problem with it, it would have to be dug up, and just as long as the owner is aware of that.
That's not a problem.
When you talk to the building department, I'm sure we'll go through that.
Sure.
Is there also an easement on the right side of the property? Like going up to, which would probably be the living room, off the porch. That kind of goes off at an angle.
Oh, no,
on
that's,
Charlotte.
sorry. That line that I'm showing is that's utility connections. We basically need to run the underground lines.
Oh, okay.
That's the,
There's nothing there right now.
right.
Oh,
It's just the sanitary line.
okay.
We don't have a sanitary in front of our property, so we have to go to the corner, so it's a longer run.
I
But
see.
that's not an easement, that's
Okay.
just showing the connection on the ground.
All right. Any of the members have any questions for the architect?
I have a question. This same home, if you were to build this and conform to the requirements, not seek the variance, what would that do to the house?
we would need to decrease 300 square feet.
Right.
We spoke about different options, and we went back and forth as to, like, we could cut down the garage in just a one-car garage, let's say. We would be gaining about 200 square feet, and then we would be cutting the other spaces. It's to another, you know, that would be the only way to do it. If you don't park inside, you're going to park outside. So no matter what it is, you still need a parking. Right. So it doesn't make too much sense to do a one-car garage for you know, a house nowadays, basically. So since we only like 2% over the square footage or maximum allowed, I don't think it's a big. It will not cause a big impact on the neighborhood. I've built a number of houses in the area, and we all have done all these houses with two-car garages.
Yeah.
Any other questions? Chris? Mark, do you have anything?
No.
Is there going to be further testimony from the attorney
Or from the owner?
or from the owner? Yes, certainly.
No, I wanted to get the master bedroom on the first floor. You know, as I'm getting older, I'm 63 now, so the stairs is a little bit of a problem. I had a back operation also, so that was the main reason. When I bought the lot, I thought I was going to be okay, but Roy got involved. He said, "You're short just a little bit."
Right,
So that's why we're here.
understood. All righty. Thank you, sir. Appreciate that. Any comments from the audience in favor or?
If there's anybody in the audience that wants to speak, ask questions about what's been presented, or give comments for or against the application, go ahead and come up. We'll get you sworn in and give us your name, okay?
My name's Jim Robbins. I live at 25 Fairview, and I probably have the questions of least consequence because I'm the back part of the lot. But since I was sitting on the aisle, I'll start it off. I had 3 questions. If you go to, I think the first diagram that you showed, where it showed the layout of the lots.
Well, I'm sorry, while he's pulling that up, where are you again, please?
25 Fairview. So the back lot right there. That is, oh, these are lot numbers. I'm that one right there where the cursor is.
30,
That's my lot number, that's not my house number. The house number is 25.
oh, so it's three over from the 2, yeah,
Yeah.
got it.
So just first question is, and this may or may not apply, it's just from a naive perspective and recollection. Last summer, there was a tract of land in between the homes on Fairview and Hillcrest that went right down the backyards that this board may recall that the town had put up for sale. I don't know what became of that, if anybody ever purchased it, if the town held on to it, but I wanted to ask if that tract of land was being used in the calculations for the boundaries of the lot as it relates to the variance that's being requested.
I don't know that.
Easement, is that what you're?
No, that's the topic of a subsequent question because it's part of it is shared in my corner property. But you can almost see it on here the way those dotted lines are. You see those dotted lines? Mm-hmm. There was an auction of land that was put up last summer where it was put up, you know, for, I don't know, $4,000 or $5,000. If you wanted to purchase it, your tax would go up and you'd have that as part of your lot. I don't know if anything ever became of it. You know, wasn't interested in purchasing it, didn't follow up. My question is that involved in the calculations as it relates to the borders of the lots and how the variance is being determined? You know, is town land being used to calculate the boundary of the lots, or is it truly owner-to-owner delineation?
Mr. Sanchez, or if you're,
I'm not aware of that, but our property includes a 5-foot easement. So that's within our property, which is this area here.
is it your understanding that the lot is the same as that the lot you're presenting tonight is the same as the lot that was created in 2014 from the subdivision?
I don't believe so. This was a subdivided lot that included the easement. So
Included the easement, but not a recent addition of additional property?
no.
Okay. My understanding is that this is the same lot that was subdivided in 2014. I haven't read the deeds, but I don't see anything in front of me that shows that anything was added to it. Certainly, they cannot use public property as part of their calculation. But there is an easement where there's permission, to go underneath and to put in there's a storm sewer line that goes through there, so they can't mess with that. They have to leave space for that.
Sure, understood. Understood. And this is probably a question for Richard. So, like, based on the way the corners are, if you look at where the back of the lot is, there is an easement opening in the ground, and don't know if the intention is to fence off that area, but how that easement is shared between lots 35, 36, and probably Richard's lot. It's right there, if you go.
Yeah.
It's right back there in the corner.
Okay, which is this here?
So if this is the lot, it's
Yeah.
going to be, the opening's going to be
Okay.
right there.
There's a
yeah.
catch basin right over here.
Catch basin is a better term, yeah, with that. So if there, I was going to ask if there was intention to put a fence up against the entire perimeter of the lot, and if so, how would the catch basin be treated as it relates to approximation of the fence distance?
My client has no issue putting up a fence along the property lines, which would be along here. But do you think there's issues here? If this is what, right now, there is no fences.
Right now,
Yeah.
right now, there is no fence, but my question was, if there was going to be a fence placed there, where would it be in proximity to the catch basin?
Oh, we're not proposing any fences at this time.
Okay,
I mean, my client, he doesn't feel like there's a need,
sure.
but since you live there, if there is any issue that he would like to see a fence,
No.
he says he has no issue also.
No, it was just a question, like in terms of
Okay.
the last few years, we've had, 1 or 2 times a year extraordinary rainfall, where between the street and the catch basin, the backyards will flood for about 2-3 hours until the water subsides. And the thinking is, if there is a fence there between the mulch, the debris, railroad ties, depending upon what the fence would be blocking with water flow or other things, that could be a potential issue. So that's why, that was the basis for my question. And then if you keep that there, I was just going to ask, obviously with the condition of the lot, where it is right now, there'll need to be tree work and things like that removed. Right now, there's a shed, and my understanding in the plans is the shed's going to be removed.
Yes.
But I was going to ask about, like the trees and what the thoughts are and the plans for that. And the basis for my question, again, is they seem to be healthy, and it provides a lot of coverage from the street.
Yeah, we're not proposing to remove any of these trees in the backyard. Yeah, they kind of block the view of the entire rear yard.
Exactly.
So that works very well for us.
Exactly.
Excuse
And
me,
there's a-
1 minute, I'm getting noticed. Just speak a little closer to the mic. Yeah,
You've answered all my questions.
Him too.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. Anyone else?
State
Good
your name and
evening.
address for the record, thank you.
My name is Joel Gamo. That's G as in George, A, M as in Maria, O. I'm the homeowner for the house on 37 Fairview Road, which is designated, I guess, as Lot 30. It's the one right next to Jim's. 37 Fairview Road. So it's the house second from the corner, number 36 on the, yeah. Okay. So I don't have a question, but I do want on the record some of my concerns.
If you're going to give testimony, then let me get you sworn in.
Oh,
Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
yes, I do.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. So as I mentioned, I don't have any questions, but I do have concerns. I want it noted. As previously noted before, that lot was part of another lot that was subdivided. And it was designed to have that one house there, not two. Now we're squeezing in another house, which would make that area densely packed and congested, which is not really the Clark lifestyle. It would be more aligned with living in the city. So that's my first concern. The other concern is because the houses are so closely packed now, if you look at the design, you would have window of one house overlooking the windows of the other house, which is, for me, a privacy concern. And then third, right now, that open space, when it rains, it helps alleviate flooding because it gives the sewer time to absorb all that water. Now, if you put a house there, that water has nowhere to go, but then would flow to the neighboring houses, which would cause flooding. That's my concern. How are they going to address that? I guess that I do have that one question. I know from before, from the previous invitation, it was noted that the design was denied because not only are we squeezing a house there, but the house itself does not conform to standards. So I would just implore the board to please, your initial denial was the correct one. Please uphold it. Thank you.
Yeah, Mr. Gemma, I just want to make sure you understand. So the applicant put in building plans to the building department, and they were told that they have one part that they don't comply with. It's the 315 feet of building coverage that they're over. The lot itself is pre-existing. That approval for the subdivision was already granted by the planning board back in 2014. So it is a legally existing lot, and somebody is permitted to put a house on it, a single-family home. They're here for the one variance that the 315 square feet. I mean, so if this board denies the 315 square feet overage, they can still revise the plans and put a house on the lot. We really can't stop them from doing that, just so you understand.
Sure.
And that was the planning board that
Planning board, right, the prior subdivision.
approved that. Okay.
State your name.
My name is Margaret Narowski, WNOROWSKI. I'm lot number 37. You want to show it or not? So I have
Are you going to ask questions?
concerns.
Good, okay, that's.
Concern.
Do you swear from the testimony you're about to give in this matter is the truth and the whole truth and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Okay, go ahead.
So Jim had talked about the trees in the back of the property. I'm concerned with the trees on the side of the property, which is neighboring my property, and removal of those trees. I guess I do have a question. Are we planning on removing those trees? Right here. That's my lot. So here are the trees along the property.
You're talking about the trees by the fence? And the question being, are they going to be removed in order to build it?
From the size of the lot and the view of the lot, it looks like in order to put a house there, you would have to remove those trees. So that's the statement.
Okay, we are proposing to remove near the property line. We have 3 trees here. There's a smaller one here, 4, and 1 by the house. So there would be 5 trees. And then the other ones are within the property. These trees are kind of like practically in the easement. Yeah, we would need to clear those out, but did I propose any additional existing tree on the street? I'm not showing any additional trees to be planted, but if that's your concern, we can.
Those are older trees and they're well established in the ground, so that kind of brings me to my follow-up concern, or concern that's related, which relates to the water. And I do have a sump pump, I do have a French drain, and during the rains, as Jim had stated before, we have a lake flowing in our backyards, and also there is, if you look on the maps, on Google Maps, there is a underwater stream coming off of the reservoir, which is right underneath my house, so, upsetting the water tables is gonna impact my house a lot. So those are my 2 main concerns, or they kind of related.
Mr. Amel, is there a basement in the house that's proposed?
Yes, there is.
It's a full basement?
Yes.
Okay. Have you done any soil borings yet? Do you know that there's no water?
No, we have not.
Right,
We are proposing to build a precast foundation or a basement, basically. These foundations are they're very good against flood or water pressure from the outside. However, in the overall scheme of things, this basement is really not going to affect the water table at all.
Well, that's protecting your house if you're building that kind of basement, but it's not protecting my house. And removing the trees, it is going to impact the water table, especially with the underground stream going under my house.
If we are removing 5 trees, we can easily replace 5 trees also. So if that would be a requirement.
You have trees,
Those trees shouldn't be in the same area, that's what I'm saying.
It could be in better locations, actually.
But this is right in the back of my fence.
noticing from the diagram, you've got trees shown across the back of the lot. Those are going to be new.
Backlot, no.
Now, those are all existing.
They're already
Yeah,
existing.
those are the evergreens.
Okay.
Thank you.
And
Sure.
thank you for comments.
Mr. Amel, can I also, the roof, when the roof collects water and drains, where do you have the roof leaders going on the?
Okay, all these roof leaders lead to that. Again, we have this drainage easement back here, and the idea is to run, we're allowed to run all these drainage lines to the catch basin.
Is there a storm sewer in the street there? Do you know? Is it possible to run it?
No, the storm line is in the easement that runs across all the way to, see, this is
That's where it is.
this is the existing line. It has a 24-inch storm sanitary line, sanitary. And it goes to Fairview. And this entire block is designed that way. The easement runs all the way down, and then it goes out to Fairview.
So as far as minimizing the impact of stormwater on the neighbors, really getting the water from the house into the public stormwater system as quickly as possible is the best way to do that, or is there anything else that can be done?
Well, there's things that we can do, seepage tanks, and try to contain some of the water from the roofs that we could, that could be done. But we are not increasing the lot size. In other words, the area where the house is located, if the rainwater is not falling on the roof, it's falling on the grass, which drains to that catch basin anyways. So we're not really increasing the amount of water that's being thrown into that sanitary system. When it rains evenly throughout. You could
Rain
say,
rain coming off the roof line
correct,
would be going to,
correct. Right now it
Rain.
drains, yeah,
going out.
yeah. The property currently slopes towards the rear where the catch basin catches all this water. That's the way this was designed, the storm system.
And that would be along the side to the left of the garage
Yeah,
in your exhibit.
Just, while we're talking about the neighbor asked about, trees. I'll just, so you're aware, I believe you're also going to have a requirement to add street trees. I think it's one per every 30 feet. I think there's one out there. You probably need to add 2 more. But the applicant did offer to perhaps add some more trees along their property line. I know they're not the size of the existing ones that are being taken down, but would the board be interested in, or would the neighbors be interested in having some more trees? Trees also, roots can help with stormwater, so is that something that the board is interested in? Maybe give him some feedback and let him know what you'd be interested in seeing.
Yes. Entertain that. All right, anyone else coming forward? Jerry? Full disclosure, I've known Jerry many years, so.
Jeremy in?
Do you swear affirm the testimony you're about to give in this matter is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Correct.
Okay, and state and spell your name for the record, please.
Jerry Scaturo, Scaturo. I am the original owner of the lot we're referring to. I do have some concerns. I don't know if is this a touchscreen?
no,
No.
there, it's the mouse.
Where's the mouse? Oh, you're hiding it on me.
So, Jerry, before you go on, you said you're the original owner of the lot?
Correct.
So you lived or live
Still live.
the one,
You can see up there, right? Okay, hold on a second. No, I'm just trying to find a lot there.
101?
Yeah, go ahead. 101, right there.
Okay, thank you.
There you go. Okay. That's good. I can handle it now. Thank you. So I do have a couple concerns, and one of my concerns is that I guess you can see the cursor here, right? So this is the back of my house there, as I'm pointing to. I don't see any fencing or bushes or natural anything here along this line, and I know that those lots, that's my yard and his yard. I'm sure he would like some privacy as well as I would. I don't know if there's a fence proposed or they intend to do that, but if there isn't, I would like to see one on this side. I know there's a fence ordinance in Clark. I guess they would have to conform to that fence ordinance, but I'd like to see a fence along that line right there, as I'm showing it. Okay. That would be one of my concerns. Second concern, okay, I know you guys are talking about that sewer line, so let's discuss that a little bit. I've been there since 2004 at this house, so I'm very familiar with the lot and the land. And there is a catch basin back here. I guess you guys are aware of that? You can see that, right? I am not the original owner of this house, okay? I think it was built in '58 or whatever. There are numerous storm drains from this house that empty into this catch basin. And I don't think do you have an engineer here tonight? Or just dark? Okay. I don't know if it is an engineering question or not, but my concern is when they start to develop this property and they find these storm drains from my house that are emptying into the back over here because they go right to this storm drain. I know one of them does, definitely. And I believe one from this corner of the house also goes there. Not the front of the house that I know of, but excuse me, the rear of the house. I want to know if they have, if you find a drain here coming into the yard, what are you going to do with it? Cap it? What are you going to do?
Reposition
To do what?
to where it leads to. If it goes to the catch basin, it will go the same way. We're not gonna,
Well, I'm asking.
we're gonna cap it and
Well, what happens if it goes right this way? But I'm saying, what happens if it goes right along here? and then goes that way.
We will reroute it.
Okay, so you're saying you're going to reroute all these drains underground, whatever you find under the ground there, and you'll reroute them to this catch basin, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, that's part of the testimony. Just want to make sure. I just don't want any problems coming down later when I find out that I have, these storm drains that are capped and there's nowhere for that water to go. Look, it's going to go into his yard either way, right?
yeah.
I mean, it's going to drain that way, so I would have concerns about that. That's my two concerns. The fencing here,
Now, so that you are aware, typically, when you have these lines that say belong to your lot, I don't know if, typically we would be doing easements for that, so that at any time that you need to, or if you have any issue, I mean, I don't know if this is where this is leading to. We were not aware that your lines, your drain lines ran under the ground.
as far as I know there's a drain line. If you look over here, you've walked the
Which is
property,
fine,
right?
yes, yes.
So if you look right over here by this catch basin, there's a pipe that comes right out over here.
Correct.
Right.
So,
So that pipe comes somewhere from the rear of this house, whether it's this corner, that corner, these two might tie in together. I don't know what's underneath the ground. Like I said, I'm not the original owner, but I'd like to have it addressed now so that there's not an issue going forward. I have a new neighbor. I want to be friends with my neighbor and enjoy my neighborhood there.
so that you know, we are proposing to do a drain line
Okay,
on the ground that runs along the side of the house, and
Okay.
then it goes all the way down.
all right.
So if yours is somewhere here, if it gets in the way, it will go next to it. There'll be two lines together to the,
Listen, I'm here just to make sure that, I understand going forward that you're not gonna cap them, you're gonna connect them, and they're gonna go, because
cannot do that, of course.
Right.
We can't do that.
Okay. So those are my two concerns. No fencing. Now, as far as this plan here, I mean, if they have intention of doing a fence, but I don't see it on the plans.
Correct.
I would like to see a fence there. I don't know if Rich is here and he can answer that question or not.
He's willing to do it.
What's that?
He's willing to do it.
You'd probably want it also, but I don't see it on the plan, so that's why I'm asking tonight. Okay. And like I said, the drain lines, I don't know exactly where they go because they're underground somewhere, but I do know that there's one that empties back over by that catch basin there. And I think some of the residents had concern about that catch basin also because the town is supposed to maintain the catch basin. It does get leaves and just debris from flooding on occasion. It doesn't happen often, but as you guys know, that on occasion, if you get that heavy rain, it does subside, because this whole drain line empties out to Fairview Road.
Yeah.
And this line, what they were talking about over here, that goes all the way up to Lake Avenue. This one here. From the corner there, it goes all the way up to Lake Avenue, all the way behind the houses between Hillcrest Drive and Fairview Drive, all the way up to the corner of
I have
Acton.
a question. Where's the closest sewer drain on that street? Fairview?
Right in front of my house, in front of lot 36. It's right between mine and Joel's.
Over here?
35 and 36. It's on the street of Fairview.
The one between the yards, it goes to Fairview somewhere, right?
Yeah, so that's why when we've had these 100-year storms,
Right.
Twice, 3 times a year, you will see the lowest point of the land is in front of our homes in the front and in the back. So you will get, lawn furniture being distributed in other people's yard, railroad ties being uprooted, landscaping being knocked over, because you'll have several feet of water back there during those extraordinary storms.
So I guess that was my two concerns, the fence and the drainage concern.
Mr. Scutari, do you have anything in your possession that
I
might?
hear you well. This
Sorry.
courtroom is bad.
Do you have anything that you can share with them that might show where that line is? Or do you know if there's an easement that, when you subdivided the property, was there an
I
easement
can't
retained?
understand this. I'm sorry. My concern, do I have what?
Do you have anything that shows where that sewer line is from your property back to the?
I have no idea. It goes underground. I know it doesn't go out to the street. I know that there's one pipe that comes, it's kind of out of the ground right before this catch basin here. See where the cursor is there? There's a pipe that comes, it's like on the surface of the ground. So it comes from somewhere from the house behind this house over there in that corner. I don't know if they connect somewhere or not. I have no idea.
Okay.
Because I'm not the original owner, so I don't know what.
Drawings
No.
that would show that, and the architectural drawings from when you purchased the house that showed the grounds.
I don't have any of those, Ed,
Yeah.
unfortunately.
Yeah, but the drainage could have been done after the fact, so that, that's not necessarily going to be on a record.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know when they did it or whatever, but, and I don't know what's under the ground exactly. Because there's a shed over here, and I guess that was, there was actually a well there they had not myself, but they had a lawn sprinkler system attached to a well. So that's why that shed was there. Well, the shed's still there, but the well is not, I mean, I don't know what's up with the well. I mean, I never used it, but the original owners, the Ferences, had and they used that for all the lawn sprinkling system that they had in there. And there are some old lawn sprinkler lines that I'm not concerned with underneath the ground. If they found noise, I'm not concerned about those, because it's not in use. But like I said, I was concerned about the leaders coming down from the back of the house. I mean, as far as I know, they could come from the front of the house and come wrap around. I don't know. But I do know that at least one of them comes somewhere close to that catch basin there. So that's my two concerns.
When you asked about the fence, there is fencing there right now.
That's on Market
That
side, I
belongs
believe.
to,
The fence that they're
okay,
yeah.
that wasn't yours.
Showing there is the one right here. You see
Yeah.
where that cursor is?
Yeah,
Put it down, yeah.
That's her fence, Margaret's fence there.
that's not yours.
That fence stops, I think, at the end of your house, Margaret, right? And it stops at the end of your property.
Okay.
No, but I'm saying, I mean, it ends, right. So I think the fencing ends right at her property there. Maybe not exactly on the line, but within that proximity of that.
Yeah. We can match.
Well,
the-
I'm
the fence
concerned
there on
about
the
this
other
side. I mean,
Yeah.
whatever happens on
Yeah.
this side, I know that,
We'll
I
match-
don't know if they had a concern about fencing or they do it or don't, but my concern is that side, so.
No, we'll match the fence on the other side, so it's all even.
Yeah, and just to clarify, I know we're talking about fencing, and Rich, this is probably more directed toward you, but
Sir, you have to come up and speak into the microphone. Say your name again and speak in the microphone.
My name is Jim Robbins, and since a number of the discussion's been going back to fencing, I just wanted to reconfirm. It sounded like, Rich, you and Jerry were going to do a fence on the right side of the property, but you were saying that there won't be a fence on the left side of the property and that the trees in the back left corner by the catch basin would remain undisturbed. I'm confirming the conversation and my understanding of it.
Look, my client is willing to put a fence on the entire property, if that's.
I am
if
asking
that's what
not
you're
for
thinking.
that. No,
Yeah,
no,
exactly,
no,
yeah. I
no.
don't think it's a good idea either.
No.
But he would like a fence along his property, in between properties, or basically on the right side. Yeah, it's all open, yeah, exactly, yeah.
But you wouldn't do it on the other side?
No.
Yeah, that's just reconfirming that. Thank you, gentlemen, thank you.
All right, any other comments from the audience? Residents? If not, anyone from the board have any further questions?
I have a question for Jerry, did I understand you correctly that you originally owned the whole lot and you subdivided and you sold it? Did you originally own both lots and you sold one of them?
Correct. We got a subdivision, what year?
2014.
2014,
2014?
yes. Okay, so it just seems that looking at this, and it's an approved lot, so we're discussing an approved lot for this other home. It looks like the most logical place and design of this new home is where it's being put. And it also looks like most likely where it's going. I live in Clark 40 years.
Right,
I live on Liberty Street
right.
off Valley, so I'm very aware of water
Right.
situations.
Okay.
So what I'm getting at, if you knew the property, is it looks like the water should be coming from your property down to this, the catch basin normally
Yes.
would be in the low point.
That is correct, yes.
So a lot of your discussion, I think, is just maybe asking the architect and the owner basically to just say what you say. They're not going to cap any, which I would think is normal building practices, but I understand.
Right.
I certainly, if I had the property, would want to make sure that happened, because.
Right. Because otherwise, it's just going to go into his land anyway. I mean, if I disconnect them and they go, it flows into his, backyard, really. That's where it's going to go.
Yes, so.
If I just disconnected, just say I disconnected them and it wasn't connected to any type of drain line towards that, it's going to flow into his backyard.
Okay,
Because the pitch is going that way.
okay.
And when the lot was subdivided, there was a proposed house on there, not an approved house, but the original subdivision, I don't know if you have those plans here, shows that there was a proposed house on there. Not an approved house, but a proposed house.
My understanding is it was a concept plan to show that a house could fit there. So that's not part of was not part of the approval. So we don't have that.
That is correct.
Thank you, Mr. Scuro. I just want to clarify that.
Thank you all. Get a closing statement from the applicant or his attorney? If there are no other questions from board members.
I don't have any question per se, but I do find this application interesting because the application is here for variance for building coverage, right? It's 2.2 percentage points above the 15, but yet all the concerns here are about anything not related to the building coverage. So trees, fencing, water, all valid concerns, I agree with. But the planning board had approved the subdivision some years ago, so it is an approved lot for a building. So in other words, if the applicant came here with a building that were conforming to the 15%, none of these questions would even be there for the owner to address, right? He could build his 15% building coverage on this lot and take down trees, not put up fences, put up fences, et cetera. So it's just interesting to me. That's all I'm going to point out. But I do think that if we end up in a place where we vote to approve this, I do think I would want to pause and make sure that somehow we bake in these concerns. I don't know how to enforce them, but to make them be addressed or contingent as part of the approval, if that's the path the board goes down.
Just so the board understands and the neighbors, because they do need a variance, and if the board's inclined to grant that variance, one of the things that you're really supposed to do is to validate granting of the variance is to show that there's no negative effects on the zoning plan or on the neighborhood. So that it's appropriate for the board then to impose conditions that will ensure that what's being built is appropriate for the neighborhood. So asking for a fence, asking for additional landscaping, and then asking to make sure that catch basin is clear and doesn't have a fence or landscaping over it would be appropriate things to request, and for the board, we could put those in as conditions of approval, and those are absolutely appropriate that go along. You're also talking about building coverage. Yes, the lot coverage is fine, which is great, but it's still additional building coverage, so dealing with stormwater, it's related. Okay.
Anyone else?
Yeah, I'd like to say something too. I have the same concerns about the lot coverage. If it's reduced, I'm sure that will affect how the flooding, it's going to impact it, I'm sure. I would like to see something a little more in line closer to that lot coverage. And as we were saying, if that wasn't a concern, then you wouldn't have to even have the variance.
To be clear, the lot coverage complies, it's the building coverage that they're over.
That's what I mean, I'm sorry,
Yeah,
building coverage.
Okay, so they're allowed 50%
I would like to
lot
get
coverage, and they're at
closer
40.
to that
And they're,
15%.
okay, their lot coverage is at 40% and they're allowed 50. It's the building coverage specifically that they're over by. So it's 315 feet of building coverage, but they would be allowed to put additional driveway space in because it's not considered building. Do you understand? Right, it's still impervious, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. And to the members of the public understand that, we want to make sure that's clear. It's the building coverage that's over. There's also a separate indication for requirement for lot coverage. They are not over the lot coverage. If they were over the lot coverage and there were stormwater issues here, that would be a serious concern. I don't think the board would approve that, but that's not where they are. They're allowed 50% impervious lot coverage, and I believe they're only at about 40%, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just of note that as for building or say overall coverage, the maximum required is 50%, and we're at 20. Just to make sure I say the right number, we're at 25.9%.
Okay.
So we are basically overall the coverage or lot coverage, we're at 25% less than the maximum required.
Actually, am I reading? I think it's the 30% is the coverage, no?
Sorry, yeah, 30%, sorry.
30%, okay, sorry.
30.5, so we're 20% under the maximum. So it's a substantial difference, so. In other words, we could build more paving or more, but we've reduced down to the minimum to keep the coverage down.
Okay, thank you.
And I'll entertain the closing statement, please. Anything else, Kelly?
I don't have a closing statement for the board. I defer to the board. I don't have anything more to contribute.
And what you've already testified to already. Thank you. All right. I'd like to get a motion in favor of the application. Sure, go right ahead.
I'd like to ask Rich, the owner, a question. Cormier, if I. Rich,
To the microphone, please.
It's my understanding that the concerns of your neighbors, you pretty much are okaying to have it design your home so it will meet their concerns about whether it's the fence, the drainage, et cetera. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Just want to say that. I just want to put that on the record.
Yeah, if they don't want a fence, and if there's no fence on the left, that's fine.
Okay.
Whatever makes everybody happy,
Yeah, okay. It seems to me that Rich has been trying to comply with his neighbor's concerns, so I just want to make that.
Oh, like Jerry, on his side, I understand 100% because it's completely open.
Yeah.
So you need a fence there, but on the left side, you have trees and you have other things.
Thanks, Rich.
May I have a motion on this application?
I make a motion to accept this application, calendar case 4-24.
I second that motion.
Second on that. I would ask for one clarification, since the drainage and the fencing has been brought up. That would be subject to the approval of the building department, that those issues are addressed. So I'd like to modify your motion to make sure that we're saying subject to the approval of the building department regarding fencing and drainage
And what about the trees?
and trees.
And street trees?
Street trees.
Yeah, if they're removing trees, we want other ones put in.
And and replacing 5 trees, because 5 are coming out? In addition to the street trees, or there's 3 street trees that count?
Well, I mean, I know the one neighbor had concerns about it being in that area over there. I don't know if we could specify, like, where they could go to help alleviate her concern.
And the motion as it stands right now.
Does the architect have a thought on where we could maybe,
sorry.
how we could craft that?
Well, I could address this with the town engineer and let him, that would be okay to have his recommendation. I would not necessarily put up new trees where the easements are, especially like along in between properties. I mean, there is existing trees there. But we can definitely put some in the front of the property, or we have plenty of room in the front, so we can easily Place two trees on one side, 2 trees on the other, one towards the rear. But like I said, it would be a good idea to, as you mentioned, to find out exactly where those drain lines are, and then at the end of the job, then we can locate them properly.
So if the board agrees, since they are taking 5 trees down, the condition would be that 5 trees be replaced on the property to the satisfaction of the township engineer when they review the building permits. That makes sense?
Yeah, that's fine.
Because he's right, there are some conditions, we don't want them hitting the lines. They may not be able to put them right against the property line because that's where the stormwater easement is. Trees exist there because they're grown naturally on their own, but you may not really be able to plant, affirmatively go ahead and plant in that buffer area there. So it would make sense to have the township engineer review that with the building plans. Okay. Okay, I think that's is that the full motion?
Just writing it again. Does that make sense? Approval with building department addressing.
Drainage, fencing, trees, and as discussed. Yep. Okay.
The motion before the board is currently to approve the application, addressing with the building department the issues of drainage, fencing, and trees, as was discussed here at our meeting. Can I have a second on that?
I'll second.
Mark, second. All right, roll call.
Okay. Mark Hayden?
Yes.
Let's see what we going here. Tom Mead?
Yes.
Douglas Crock?
Yes.
Chris Tierney?
Yes.
Ed Bruce?
Yes.
I'm sorry, William Helm?
Yes.
Okay. Got everybody right?
Motion is approved.
Thank you.
So at the next meeting, we will have a resolution drawn up, and then we'll vote on that actual piece of paper, and then you can once that's voted on, then you can take that to the building department and submit your plans, okay?
Great, thank you. Good night.
Thank you all for your time and comments. Well worth it.
Yeah.
All right. We have no resolutions this evening, and any other issues? Okay. Any board members have anything? Otherwise, I'll ask for a motion to end the meeting. Any other comments from the board?
Motion to adjourn to here?
Motion
To adjourn?
Yes. Sorry there, Mark.
Yes. I'll second if someone did a motion to adjourn. That's adjourn.
Agreement, aye.
Yes.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Ayes carried.
Very good.
Thank you, gentlemen. And Kelly.
I can hear the feedback.
You may want to pay attention to
Happy Thanksgiving.
You may want to pay attention to where those lines are for your own.